Hi, everybody. We are live for Feral but Sober Close Out Part 3. My guest isn't here yet, but she will be here any minute. So, if you could just bear with me. There she is
Hey,
now. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Give me just 1 second. I'm not all the way set up just yet. I am working on it. Okay, we're live on Podbean. Give me 1 more second, please.
hmm
I got a lot of platforms I stream to, so there's a lot of options for everyone to see me. So it just sometimes takes a minute. Also, so if you see me glancing screen to screen, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm completely listening to you. I'm just sometimes checking. There'll be comments on, I have TikTok over here
Yeah.
and then Podbean and the podcast platforms down here. So I am always listening and I don't mean to ever be rude.
Oh, no, you're fine.
So we have today with us Brittany. She's going to tell us a little bit about her story, and we're going to talk a little bit about co-parenting. She co-parents and how that affects her journey and just her life, and just talk a little bit about things she's going through. So I'm going to hand it over to Brittany right now and let her tell her story. And then, one second, we're going to switch. I'll let you be big. And then we'll talk about it if anybody's listening. 1 second. Let me hook the chat. I did that on the very first episode. I was like so nervous and I was so upset because I thought no one was like watching and no one was commenting. Very upset. And it was just really, I did not turn it on. I was so
Oh,
nervous.
no.
I had never been live before. Like before this, I had literally never even went live. I never, I don't know. I just don't really put my business out there and stuff. But I decided that I needed an outlet very badly. I was struggling mentally when I started this podcast, and it has helped me tremendously. So I'm going to let Brittany tell her story. I could talk about myself all day long. So,
So I've struggled with mental illness since I was 13. That's when I saw my first psychiatrist. Um, and mental health plays a huge part in my story. Um, but one thing that happened that really affected my life in more ways than I ever thought it would. When I was 15, I went to a house party. I didn't know anybody there except some of the kids that went to school with me. But I went with my best friend, and we were drugged and raped by a 36-year-old man. Um, and I didn't tell anybody until I told my mom about 2 years ago. And that affected me really, really bad. I did tell my ex husband when we first got together, but that's another story. um, and I experimented with all kinds of drugs as a teenager. Um, but it wasn't until after I had my son in 2014, I had really bad postpartum anxiety with him. It was so bad, like I couldn't even walk to my mailbox without having a panic attack. And it put me on my first benzodiazepine for the anxiety, which was Clonopin. And um, I took the meds as prescribed for many years. Um, and then my ex husband and I kicked him out in August of 2019, and I started. They weren't working anymore, so I started taking more than what was prescribed, and uh, I was fine for a while. I would run out, but I didn't really have the withdrawals that bad. It wasn't until it ramped up while we were going through our divorce process, and I really started using more. And then when I would run out, I would just buy more from someone. And then when I would run out of those, I would withdraw really bad, having seizures, and the physical withdrawals were terrible. Like was shaky. It felt like my skin was crawling. Um, And then in 2021, our divorce was final and we had to sell our house. And at the time, I lived over in Lehigh Acres. I lived over there for about 10 years. And um, I couldn't find anything over there that I could afford. I had no family over there that I could stay with. All my family was here in Martin County. And so I ended up having to move back home. But that meant leaving my kids over there with him. So I started only having them every other weekend. And that absolutely destroyed me. Like, it still hurts me tremendously to this day. I'm getting better with it. But it was so hard, and I started using more, and I was mixing other substances with the benzos to get even higher so I didn't feel anything. Well, and I was lying and stealing and anything I could to get the drugs. Um, in January 27th, well, I begged God so much. I'm like, please, if you're real, just take this away from me. Like, the withdrawals were so bad, but he didn't. And on January 27th, I took 90 milligrams of Xanax. I don't know if I did it on purpose because I was very depressed. Um, but I overdosed, and the only thing that I can say that the reason why I didn't die was God, because I should have died. And my son saw me overdose. That would have killed him if I would have been successful with it. Um, and on January 28th, my family had like a little intervention, and my sister called EMS because I was having seizures so bad withdrawing from the Xanax, uh, that she was scared I was going to have another seizure, and she wanted me to be monitored. So just to appease her, I went to the emergency room with EMS, but I ended up signing myself out because I was like, I don't need to be here. I don't need to be here. And finally, that I called my mom like all night long, and she finally picked up and came and got me. And I told her that I would go to a mental health facility that I had went to in the past because my bipolar disorder was insane while I was using. Um, and so I went there the next day. I was there for 5 days, and God found me while I was sitting in that mental health hospital. And from that day on, he took all the withdrawals from me. Like, I still had minor withdrawal symptoms, but all the major stuff was gone. I didn't have any more seizures. The My skin crawling got better. And then my mom and my stepdad came to visit me one night, and my mom's like, "Look, I've been praying about this. I've been calling every day to Coastal Detox, and they finally have a spot open for you for outpatient treatment." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll go." Like, I didn't fight him. I was just like, "All right, I'm ready." And so I've been sober since January 28th of 2024.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you had a really different story than what I'm used to. We hear a lot about opiates, and I've had alcoholics, and I'm super glad to be able to have you and feature your story because, part of my whole platform is to be open to everybody, So thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. You are my first representative, I guess, from
The
a
Benzo
princess.
Club, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, but
Well, you're fine.
so I want to talk a little bit about like when you said you overdosed and in front of your son. How do you think that affected? Because that was right previously before you decided to go to treatment and stuff, right?
Yes,
So do
that
you feel
was,
like had a
yeah.
lot to do with
Yes,
wake up
because
call?
I don't remember it, but my grandma said that I stood up to go to my room and I face planted into the computer desk, and my son like was trying to help me get up off the floor, but I was so high, like I could barely walk, like I couldn't walk. So, yeah, that like, and I didn't directly ask him about that until like 6 months later. And I finally talked to him about it. And he was like, Mommy, it was so scary. It was so scary. He's like, I thought you were going to die. And he's like, and I didn't know how to help you. And that made me feel so bad. But my kids telling me now that they can see a difference in me, they love the person that I am now, that they have fun with me now instead of worrying about what mood I'm going to be in, or, if I don't have drugs, like, am I going to be in a bad mood? So, like, it's definitely worth it. Like, my life now is so much better. Like, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I had gastric bypass in April because I wanted to take my health back. And my highest weight was 388, and I'm down to 271 now. So,
Congratulations.
um, yeah. So, like, the only thing that recovery has given me is everything. Like, it has given me everything.
Absolutely.
Everything is so much better.
Yeah, it really is.
I wish I
That's
would have done it sooner.
I was making intro videos, right, for like TikTok yesterday or the other day. I'm sorry, it's a couple days ago. But I ended up posting 4 because I said different things in each video because I have so much to say. Like I have came so far. Like I have accomplished things that I never even like dreamed. Like never even I own a home. Like oh my god, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
so comforting to know like I own my home. No one could kick me out of here. Like they could maybe shut off my electric if I didn't pay the bill or whatever. They could cut off my internet, but like no one could take my home away. Like I own this home. That's something that I never had. Even my parents never owned their home, because I had 2 addict parents. So that's to me, like yeah, recovery has, I agree. Like the only thing it's given me is everything. Like everything I
Yes.
have, I owe to my recovery because I know the old me wouldn't have none of this. Like, I look around sometimes and I have things like in my out in our garage, like we have a rotor tiller and stuff. And sometimes like when we use it, when we pull it out, like it just brings back flashbacks of like running around because I was like the worst kind of addict, running around stealing stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's worth money.
Yes.
Like every time I see it, I'm like, that's worth money. Like still in
Yeah.
that, but just it's crazy to have things like we have a lot of things that just tools and stuff that is worth money that I don't know that just makes me laugh in my head because I was like I would never have any of this stuff the old me because I would have sold it in 1 second like
Yes.
for the rip off price whatever I could get is to get me well or high or a buzz.
Yeah. Yeah. It was crazy the stuff I used to do. Like, I'm so thankful that that's not my life anymore, because it wasn't a life. I was just existing. I wasn't living. There was nothing fulfilling about the way I was then. And I'm very thankful that I have the life I have now.
Absolutely. So I know we talked a little bit we were going to talk about like some co-parenting stuff. So I know you said your kids are with your ex, I guess, and you get them every other weekend or something.
Yes.
So can we talk about like a little bit about how that might affect your, I don't know, overall?
Um, that's like the hardest thing that I deal with. Like, and it affects me every day because I'm not there for the everyday stuff. And that really bothers me. And my daughter and I have a very strained relationship because of the addiction, but it's getting better. It's getting better. But it's very hard because he was very mentally and physically abusive. So it's very hard co-parenting with him. I co-parent with his new wife. I don't co-parent with him. I don't talk to him unless I absolutely have to. Um, but like I get told what's happening with my kids. I don't get asked how I feel about things. I don't get asked what I want. So it's very difficult. Like, they just made the decision. I got a text message one day at work that my daughter, since she has a boyfriend, but they're not sexually active, they're putting her on birth control. And there's like, and she's only 14.
Oh,
So yeah, so I'm having a really hard time with it, and I still don't know how I want to handle it. Because at the end of the day, there's not really much that I can do.
right.
Um, but I have been looking into the legal aspect of medical decisions for our kids,
Right.
because like it just I should have a say so in it.
Yeah, I feel like I mean I'm no lawyer. Do not, let's go ahead and get this. I have to say this in every episode at some point. Also, I'm in no way any kind of substance abuse professional or mental health professional in any way, and I'm also not a legal professional. But it seems to me that you should have some kind of say in the big things, like
Yeah.
birth control. That's pretty big, like because a lot of time, teenagers, if you once you get on birth control, it's kind of like a green light, like
Yes,
and
that's
so
exactly.
I would think as a mother, as a mom, I would, let's hold off on that as long as possible until, are they
Yeah,
thinking about being sexually active? Like these are things that, and it just sucks because you don't get to be there to have these
yeah.
conversations. And
So it's very hard. But like the old me would have just gotten pissed off and blown up on them, and that's the reaction that they want. But I
for
don't
sure.
give them that reaction anymore. I'm a lot more calm. I think about stuff before I say it now. Like even if I'm pissed off, like I still think about things before I say them, because once I say them, I can't take them back.
Right.
So so I don't give them that satisfaction, because my ex-husband is very narcissistic, and I just don't give him that satisfaction anymore of getting me worked up like that. So I'm still trying to figure out how I want to deal with this, but I don't know. I don't really know what I can do at this point, but I've got to figure something out.
Right. Right, and there's options and there's resources, and I don't know what they are. I'm not even 100% sure what area you're from, because where the show's virtual, a lot of
Yeah.
my guests and stuff aren't local, but there's got to be resources, and I don't know. Are you in Kentucky at all?
No, ma'am, I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay. So, well, I have no
Y-
clue then. But
Yeah.
talk to people, call legal aid. Look it up on Google or something. There has to be resources,
Yeah.
and I don't know, reach out to some peer support people or something, and they could probably point you in the direction. There has to
Yeah.
be peer support in your area. I know on in my Facebook group, I think there's a guy who's doing like independent peer support work. Maybe I'll look into and maybe shoot you his name or something, and you can
Oh, okay. Yeah.
reach out to him. I think he's doing stuff like independently online. I'm not even really sure where he's where he's based at, but I know that I did talk to him a little bit about that. So I can maybe hook you up with that, and maybe he can help you out with where to find those resources, because I know there has to be something, because I know,
Yeah.
I know you're in recovery and not not very far into recovery, so I know money's probably tight. I know you're probably,
Yeah.
just can't go out and buy a lawyer. So buy a lawyer.
Yeah.
Listen to me,
Yeah, because
just buy one.
I had one for the divorce, and it was extremely expensive because it got drug out for a whole year because of COVID.
Oh, shoot.
So it was it was very expensive. It was like over 20 grand. And I was like,
Oh,
yeah. So
$20,000 divorce. Oh my goodness grief.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
that's not counting whatever you lost, whatever you had to split up and all that crap. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's terrible. I'm so sorry for that. And it doesn't help if the other person isn't, cooperative or civil. Civil is the word I was looking for. Like,
yeah,
if they're an
yeah. And
asshole, it doesn't
he
help
fought
anything.
he fought me on every little thing. So it drug it out even more. It's like, oh my gosh.
So his wife, you said you co-parent a lot with her. Is she pretty? I mean, do you guys have a decent relationship, or at least a civil um
We do.
agreement or something?
Yeah, we do get along pretty good. We're not like best friends, but she'll text me and I'll text her. But yeah, I prefer to co-parent with her just so I don't have to deal with him. I just and if I do talk to him, it's only through text message. I will not talk to him on the phone. I won't talk to him without a witness, because uh shortly after I filed for divorce, I had to file for a restraining order, and I didn't get it because I didn't have documented proof. I'm like, okay. So
The
I,
system fails. The system fails. I think women so much sometimes. Everybody, everybody, but especially in situations in like domestic violence. And I guess it could be men and women just in domestic violence situations. Like I think it's hard
yes.
to document proof sometimes because when I know I myself have been in a toxic abusive relationship and you don't document the proof because you love them and you make excuses for them for so long, and then when you finally want
Yes.
out, like this has been going on for 10 years, and then the cops are like, well, there's no proof
You
of
don't
that.
have any proof.
I'm like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
screw you because it happened. Like,
He wouldn't threaten me in text messages because he was too smart for that. Like, so I don't know. It was very hard. Like, I'm glad it's over. I mean, I have new problems now with him, but not that it's nothing that I can't say like I'm not dealing with this. Like, I have boundaries with him, and I just don't allow him to get to me like he used to.
sure. So, how do you think your recovery journey has affected your ability to set those boundaries with him? Because it sounds like when you guys were in a relationship, you didn't have, boundary. Obviously, he didn't respect him if you did try to set him.
Yeah, and like I didn't stand up for myself really when we were together. And now I do. Um I've told him recently in the past that he was trying to get me upset, and I just told him like I'm not doing this. Like
Right.
this you're not going to get me upset. We're not having this conversation. There's nothing for us to discuss. I'll talk to Cassie. I have no reason to talk to you. So,
Right.
and I just leave it at that.
And that's great that you can do that now. Like, like if it's something about the kids, then she can text me. And if it's not, someone said, hi, Brittany Nicole Kinman.
Oh, hello.
So, but yeah, like, that's amazing. And I feel like, in recovery, we get the courage or self-confidence or whatever to set those boundaries and to say, like I'm not doing this or whatever. And it's because and it's boundaries that, or I'm sorry, confidence and stuff that we didn't have when in our addiction, and even after, even in the I know I did an episode last week on like the science behind addiction, and even in the first little bit after sobriety, like when the first like 12 months of sobriety, it's like called anhedonia or something, I can't even pronounce it, but it's where you can't even like be happy and like experience normal feelings and stuff. So I don't
Yeah.
know, like you have to, I don't, recovery just, again, that's just another
It,
thing that it gives us
it's
is the
it's taken me like, and I went through like in my outpatient program. It was a very intensive outpatient program for 90 days, and I went through a lot of therapy, and my therapist that I had was great, and I'm back in therapy now. But uh like, yeah, just learning how to feel my emotions all over again, and then learning how to deal with them in a healthy way. um yeah, it like sometimes it's hard. I'm still learning, but uh it's so much easier now that I'm not high all the time.
sure.
So much easier.
So in your addiction, did your ex use, or did you like hide it? Did you have like a secret life? How did that
He
go?
he really like I didn't really start like taking too many pills until I had kicked him out. I like when we were together, I would smoke weed and use the benzos. But he never really said anything to me. But like after we split up and everything, like, and when I finally got help, um, he was like, "Oh well, I'm not sure you need to be around the kids." I was like, "Well, I'm sober now." Like,
Right. Yeah, the whole time you were getting high, you was around him, and now
yeah,
that you're sober, it's a problem just because now he know.
yeah.
Did he know in your addiction?
I
Did you
don't.
think, like, after you start taking too many, do you feel like he knew or no?
I, I don't know. He may have had an idea. Like, I'm not sure how he wouldn't have had an idea because it was really bad. But like he was like, well, you're not. I don't want you around the kids, and I'm like, you can't. Like, we have a legal document stating you can't keep the kids from me. So nice try on that. But I'm sober now. So and I'm working on myself. You need to work on yourself. You got
Right.
issues.
Sure.
But he didn't use. He smokes weed, but he doesn't it doesn't affect him daily.
No, I mean,
So,
yeah, that's not,
but yeah.
but there can be other issues, but drug substance use is not the only, a lot of people have mental health issues and other things that they just need to work on their self.
And he like because I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder after I had my son. Um and like I would have some really bad lows, like where I was so depressed that I checked myself in for the first time for inpatient treatment. I want to say it was 2016 or 17. And like before I went, I wanted to wash my hair and everything because I wasn't sure what to expect when I got there. And he was like, and I asked him, I was like, but I was so depressed, I physically couldn't wash my hair.
Hmm.
And it was so bad and it was so humiliating. And I asked him if he can you please wash my hair for me. And he was like, oh, this is pathetic, you're a grown-ass woman and you can't even wash your own hair. Like, bitch, I told you. I
Yeah.
told you why. Like, I'm not doing this just to have you, cater to me. Like, I don't want you to touch me, but I need help. Like, you're my husband, I don't have anyone else to help me. Our kids are too little.
Right.
And but he was very degrading, and he would put me down in front of people, and it was terrible. It was the worst 10 years of my life.
So he was not supportive at all in your recovery journey. Like, once he found out that you didn't really start until after the addiction, but or until
Like,
after the relationship.
this is where the narcissism plays in because like, they would text me and be like, "Oh, we're so proud of you," like da 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 da, and then like a couple days later, he'd be like, "Oh, you're the worst mother ever." Like, I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know what to do to I'm not trying to make you happy. Like,
Right.
my goal is to take care of my kids and make my kids happy. As long
Right.
as they're happy, I don't care about anybody else.
And build a
And
relationship with him.
yeah, like that the only problems that I'm trying to fix is the ones that I have created for them. That's it. Nobody else's opinion matters.
Right.
Like,
And it
I
shouldn't.
know what I'm doing. I don't have to justify anything to you. Um, if you feel like I'm an unfit mother, then take me back to court. But I
Right.
don't think a judge is going to see that because I'm doing what I need to do and getting help.
Right. And obviously you guys have already been to court, right? Because you have an agreement
Yeah,
already. So the
yeah.
judge already has given you rights, and and now, like you said, you're in any judge, anytime you go in front of a judge and you can say, like, I've done a program, I'm clean, I can show you proof. Like, they love that. Like, they want to
Oh, yeah,
see
I
people
have my
succeed. So
certificate. Like, and I'm very involved with my church. Like, I help facilitate a recovery group at my church. Um, like, so I just don't pay any mind. And I think he's finally getting the picture that I'm not gonna show him any attention when it comes to like him putting me down like he used to, because he doesn't say a lot of things like that to me anymore. I think he's finally getting the picture. Like, it doesn't work anymore.
right,
So
like,
save it
you
for
don't
somebody
care.
else.
His opinion no longer matters at all. Like, he has proved that he obviously,
Like,
and
is
obviously it's with
only
somebody else now. So, like, who cares? Obviously that's dead anyways. So
uh,
your
and
relationship with him don't matter.
I don't I don't I don't care to talk to him. I don't The only opinions that matter to me are those of my children. Like, and they tell me how proud they are of me. Like, And one time I was on my way to bring them back to their dad's house, and it's a 2 hour ride. And we were just talking about it, and they were, it felt good to hear them say that they're proud of me at how far I've come. And that's all the validation that I need.
Right. Absolutely. There's nothing better than, making our kids proud, especially when we've disappointed them in the past. Like, I know that
Yes.
I had a relapse at one point when I had my daughter, after I had my daughter, and that was the worst time. That was my lowest low because I drug her along and done, a lot of shit that I shouldn't have done. So, like, there's
It's
nothing
true.
better than, hearing them say, like, I was trying to have a talk with my daughter one time not too long ago, and I was like, I know that I'm not always the best mom. And she's like, oh, you're the best mommy. And it just made me, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Jesus
It
Christ.
does
Like,
something to your soul.
yeah,
Like, it's good, it's medicine for the soul when they say stuff like that. And they don't realize how much they help us,
yeah,
but like they are the best medicine for me.
yeah.
And I couldn't imagine life without them.
No, as much as they, I don't know, as much as I have two toddlers, so like as much as the frustration and the aggravation, and then I also have an 11-year-old, and she's like, right on the verge of her little attitude stage and all that, but like I still would
Just
not
wait, it
trade
gets
them. Thanks. Thanks. So, do you feel like he like talks bad about you to your children or anything
oh
like?
yeah.
Uh,
I know he does because they have come to me and asked me questions like, Mom, well, Case, I remember Kason asked me one time, my son, he was like, Mama, he's like, what's a cunt? And I'm like, what? I'm like, where did you hear
holy
that?
shit.
He's like, that's what Daddy called you. And I'm
Oh,
like, yeah. I was like, okay,
uh,
okay. I was like, Bubby, that's a really
dumb.
bad word. Like, don't say that. Don't say
Yeah,
that.
that's awful, and too, because I try really hard not to talk bad about like people's parents in front of them. Even like I have a nephew, and his mom is my sister, and
Mhm.
she has just never been a mom to him at all. Like, and but I try really hard not to say bad stuff. She's my sister, and I still try not to say bad stuff about her in front of him because he doesn't live with her still yet, and I just he because but he loves her still, it's still his mom, and I don't believe in saying like I don't believe in that. You shouldn't talk bad about ugh, God, that's awful. I hate that. Like you're the mother of his child still, like regardless of if you guys are together or not. Like ah,
Yes. I mean, he said a lot of other stuff too, and it's just like my daughter would come to me and be like, "Why did Daddy say this?" Honestly, Paisley, I don't know.
and
Like
how old
I
are your kids
never.
at this time when they're saying this stuff?
This has been going on since we split up in 2019. Like my son got in the car and was like, "Daddy called you a bitch. Is that a bad word?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that."
Oh my
He was
God.
like,
How
"Yeah."
old?
What was that? What are we in? 2025. So he was about 4 years old.
Holy, oh my God.
And my
Oh, it
mom
makes
just
you just so bad. Like I can be so petty, and I know we can't. Like we can't. I would never play games with my children, but God, I want so bad to just be like, go back and ask your dad what's a cocksucker.
yes. Yes. I almost stooped to his level, but
Yeah.
I was like, no, I can't do that. So, but yeah, he yeah, he said some doozies in front of them, and I
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, make you want to. That's the stuff that makes you
Make me
cool.
want to catch charge like real
Yeah,
quick.
gotta take a breather.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. I am sorry for you. I know that I'm laughing, but I just
No, it's
that's
okay. Like I find humor in it now, but
yeah.
at the time I was like, "Oh my god, like you got to be kidding me. Like why would you say that in front of the kids?"
Right. Like say whatever you want about me behind closed doors. I don't care. I don't like you. You don't like me. Fine. But like in front
Not
of
in
my
front of the
kids
kids.
though, my kids like and that's not fair too because they're so little and impressionable and you're trying to like rebuild a relationship with them, and he's just fucking it up, like he's
Yeah.
just, oh, so sorry for you. But at least they're, kids, when as they get older, they really do, like, they see and they know, and they,
Yeah, they
they'll.
have, and that's what I kept telling myself. Like, they're gonna develop their own opinion.
Hmm.
Like, and they see how much of an effort like I make now with not just them but with myself, because I didn't love myself for a long time, and that was due to his abuse. And
For sure.
um but they see me like just so much better now, and I don't know, it's made our relationship better. So
For sure. And it'll always get better. Like, I know I've said this before on here, like, but even me, like, I came from I said a family with two addict parents, but like all I ever wanted was for my parents to do good and do right. Like, anytime in life that they would, they did, my dad had a overdose, and he obviously, so he didn't he had, like, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, but he
yeah,
anytime that they did good, I was so happy, and that's all that they want, that's all that if you
yeah,
continue to do good, like, they will just continue to come back to you, because that's what we want, that's what we all want, we're all little kids that just want to be loved inside, I think.
yeah. And someone asked me one time, well, what is your main priority in life? I was like, my main priority, and this was after I got sober, I was like, it's my recovery, because if I'm not sober, I can't be there for my kids.
Right.
So, I there was a period of time I wasn't there for them the way I needed to be. And because I was so busy getting high. And if I don't take care of my recovery, then
You'll be
I
there
can't be
again.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll just be right back there. I did a segment, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, on like relationships, and the woman that was featured, she said that, she had a daughter, and that she was blah blah blah, I'm sorry. She had been in active addiction, and the daughter was nearby, like she had access to, but did not like connect with or do, whatever, take care of her because she was getting high. And then in her recovery, she was told, for the first year, we don't work on relationships, and that includes family. So she did not, but it actually did work out for her. Now they have a wonderful relationship. So I think it's really important. Like, I know a lot of people might not understand that. Like, they might think that, oh, you're being like selfish, or you don't love your kids, but that's not the truth. Like, if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't be there to love your kids, because when we're in our active addiction, we don't love anything but the drug. That's like a scientific fact. That was in all the research episode that I did. Like, we literally, our brain rewires itself to only care about the drug. So, if we don't take care of ourselves and our recovery, then we literally can't. We can't love our children, our family, our husbands, our loved ones, whatever. Like, so we have to do recovery number one. It has to be.
Yes. That is my new baby, is recovery. That, and I just, because if I don't take care of that, then everything else is going to fall apart that I've worked so hard to rebuild. So, yeah.
So we have a little bit of time left. So let's talk a little bit about your recovery. You said you went to a treatment program, right? And then after that, how did you like, do you maintain your recovery? Do you go to NA meetings? Do you?
Well, I tried going to celebrate recovery at a church not far from my house,
Mhm.
but it just, like, I don't know, it just wasn't for me. But um then my pastor approached me at my church, because I started getting really involved in church. He's like, will you help facilitate Recovery Alive here? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And I didn't know what all entailed, but I was like, yeah, sign me up. Like, so I do that every Friday night. But I also go to a hope group at church on Wednesday nights, and then every Sunday. But like, my church family, they, like, I remember walking in the first day, and I was still withdrawing so bad. Like, my skin was crawling, like I was in really bad shape still. and everybody just welcomed me with open arms. Like, they didn't care what I look like. They were just like, come in, like that's it. You all you need to do is just show up. That's it.
I
And
love that.
like I don't even have to be in my recovery group. I can be in my Wednesday night group. And if I need to talk about my recovery, I can. And they've been very open and compassionate, and they tell me how proud they are of me and how far I've come. And it just, like, I have my family is amazing, but I have a great second family there.
For sure.
um yeah, so I tried to go to an AA meeting one time, but it wasn't for me, and they don't really have many NA meetings around where I live. So, but I found my spot where at church,
For sure.
and it
Whatever works for us, like that, we
yeah,
have to. That's something that I.
everybody yeah, everybody is different, and as long as you're not hurting anybody and you're staying sober, that's all
Yep.
that matters.
Yeah, I do. I agree. That's something that I push. Like I said, all pathways, and sometimes we don't follow just one pathway. Sometimes we mix and match. Because we have to. We have to find our groove. We have to find whatever works for us.
Yeah.
You mentioned Recovery Live. What's that? I've never heard of that.
It's kind of like, do you know what Celebrate Recovery is?
Yeah.
Have you heard of? Okay, so it's pretty much like that. Like, we do step work there. We have books that we go through, and every month we do a new step, and I think we're 8 months in. That is still like a pretty new program. Um, and we do the step work, and it's been really helpful. Like, and like, the women meet every Friday night, but the last Friday of every month is when the men and women come together, and we will do like worship, and then we'll go into the fellowship hall and work that step together. We'll start working it, but the men meet another night of the week. I'm not sure what night they meet. But it's been really good. It's been really
Yeah.
good.
It's amazing how when we get in recovery and we really like when we're serious and we buckle down and how quickly things come together, because I know what you said, your sober date is just like January of 2024, so you're coming up on 2 years, and that's amazing. But like, how much has your life changed in those 2 years? Like, it's crazy how when we really start trying, how fast it turns around for us, because
So
look at,
so much has changed for the better.
yeah.
So much has changed for the better. Like, I'm so thankful for this new life, because it's better than I could have imagined. Like, I was living in absolute hell when I was using, and there towards the end, it was so bad. Like, I was having grand mal seizures almost every day, um, that I would be withdrawing, and have to go to the emergency room, because every time I'd have a seizure, that the neurologist told me that I had to go to the emergency room, so my grandma would call EMS.
Yeah,
But now
I want to bring up and say, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but a lot of
you're fine.
people probably don't know that benzo withdrawal is one of the only withdrawals or substances that, like, the withdrawal, it can actually kill you. So like, I know you keep saying like go to the emergency room, and some people may not realize, they may think like, oh, what can the emergency room really do? But for benzo, and I think alcohol is the other one, they the withdrawal symptoms can literally kill a person. So like, you like
Yeah,
you're saying,
and
you're having seizures, like, that's
with
very
with
severe withdrawal symptoms.
with benzo, like with alcohol, they can do an Ativan taper. With opiates, they can do, Suboxone. Like, there's different, but with benzos, there's no step down drug. Like, you're just good luck.
Right. Right. For
So
sure.
it
Like,
was it was
even
really
like
shitty.
fentanyl and heroin and some meth that are like the worst drugs. There's stuff that you can take to come off of them. But yeah, benzos. What did they give you? I don't even know. Is there?
I take Visceral now for my anxiety. Like they put me on that as soon as I started with detox, which I didn't do. I didn't do the detox portion of the program because I was already detoxing on
Right.
my own. But and that helps with my anxiety. But it's just a prescription strength Benadryl. That's
Oh,
it.
nice.
Yeah. So like there, it was just pretty much like fuck, like everything works out
Yeah.
for you. Therapy, like
The worst with the drug with the worst withdrawal symptoms come to the
yeah.
hospital, but we still can't do anything. So,
But they would monitor me and do CT scans to make sure I didn't, because I would hit my head and stuff when I would fall.
right.
But there was really nothing they could do. But I don't know. It was very scary. It was very scary. I don't ever want to do that again. And I think God let me when I would beg him for help, but he knew I was not ready to give it up completely.
Right.
He knew that script I was going to get filled. And he had to let me sit in that, feel that, so that I wouldn't want to go back to it, because I don't want to go back to that ever again. Like that was
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Sometimes God does sit us down. We talked a little bit about like pathways, but not only pathways, like people's journey, how the way they get there. Like sometimes jail or something has to be at jail or an institution, or sometimes something traumatic has to happen, right? ODing in front of our kids. Like sometimes that shit has to happen for us to
Yes.
get it, because like I said, with our brain being rewired to only give a shit about the drug, then sometimes it takes something serious. Most of the time, I think it takes
Yeah.
something serious, something traumatic, either like I said, jail or facility, or maybe somebody overdoses, you overdose, whatever, but it's something serious has to happen before our dumbasses get it, because
Yeah. Like, and we have to hit our rock bottom.
yeah,
And no addict is going to get help if they have not hit their rock bottom. They have to want to quit. And I try telling people that, and they're like, "Oh no, they should just want to get help." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "That's not
they
that's not how it
don't.
works."
No, God, no.
That's not how
When
it
I was out there getting high, I remember like until I had my daughter, a traumatic event. I I was at I can remember saying like, I'm 19 years old and I don't have no kids, and who cares if I get high? I'm not hurting nobody. Like I didn't want to get help. I had no desire to get help. All I wanted to do was get high. That's all I cared about. I literally, like, I ruined, like workshops, friendships. I stole from people that I cared about and lied to them, and because all I gave a shit about was,
the drugs.
was getting high and drugs. Yeah, that next fix. I literally today was at the. I'm gonna make a video about it. Was at the doctor. My kid has strep throat, my oldest, and
Oh
I
no.
yeah. So she woke up this morning with throat sore and she had like some infection on stuff. We took her to the doctor earlier. And but when I'm in the little room, and me and my husband's in there, and all three of our kids, and the little thing is in there where they like dispose of the needles or whatever,
Hmm.
and it's just like a big open hole, and I just look, I'm just standing there holding the baby, and I look over, and just right down in there was the needle, and I was like, God, even in my mind, I've been clean for so long, and I just looked down at that, and I was like, I can get that out, and I was like, for fucking what? Like, that's stupid thoughts, you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
dumb shit that it's crazy how we still. Yeah, like I've been clean for a really long time, and I still have, so my first thought was like, oh, a used ass needle. Like, God, what is wrong with me? But that's just the fights
It,
that we,
it
or
happens.
the thoughts that we fight off every day, but I thought that was really like interesting. I took a picture of it and stuff, how just I don't know, just how far I've came. I guess it was like a,
Yeah.
I don't know, to me it meant something. Some people might think that's stupid, but um I'm trying to think. I had some questions pulled up. Let me see. We've got about 10 more minutes. Let me see if I've got any more questions? Just anything. Is there anything that you want? Oh, I like to always ask my guests. One of my favorite questions, a little just a recovery question, is if you could go back and ask or no, I'm sorry, in your darkest hour and sit beside yourself, what would you tell yourself? Like one thing, give yourself one piece of advice.
Those were some pretty dark times. Like I didn't think it was ever gonna end. I would just tell myself like it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Just hold on. It's gonna get better.
For
Because
sure.
I wanted to give up so bad. I wanted to give up so bad.
So if you hold on a second. Okay. Your identity when you finally got sober, like how do you feel like your identity shifted? Like did parts of you come alive that you feel like maybe were like stagnant or dormant what during your youth? Like I
Oh
know
yeah,
for
like
me, just I had to learn how to be a person again, like just in general, like
like I would my soul was so dead when I was using. I was a miserable person. I never had anything positive to say. And like even though sometimes my emotions are not positive all the time, I still want to reflect that positivity because I have so much to be thankful for. And I want to make sure that like if someone else is going through something, I want them to feel even just a little bit of positivity and love for me because there were so many times that I felt so alone. Even though I wasn't, but I would block myself from the love from everyone, and I don't want anybody to ever feel like that. And I am having to learn my emotions over again. I just started dating, talking to a really nice guy, who's also in recovery, so that helps.
yeah,
Um, but learn. I'm trying to figure out how to date in
yeah.
recovery.
Right. Because
It's
it's
different.
tricky. It's so different. And it's, a lot of things like just normal things like normal people go on a date like, hey, let's go get a drink or something like that. And for us that doesn't work. It does really help that he is in recovery too. Like that's amazing because he knows like it's different when you're dating someone that's not in recovery and they're like, let's go get a
And it's
drink
like
and you're like,
I would
oh.
because my friends at work made me make a Facebook dating profile, and I was like, because I've been single for 2 years now, and I was like, guys, I don't really know, and they're like, no, just try it, and it was just like I don't want to have to tell these people that I meet like the same story over and over again. Oh, by the way, I'm an addict. Like,
Mhm.
I've been in recovery for a year and 8 months. Like, but I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
It's
Like trying
so
to.
crazy. Let me just tell you, like my is not like an addict. He's never like even done drugs or been in trouble or like anything like that. So like when we first started met or whatever, I was in just working like we worked together in a factory and I had been in recovery. I've been clean for a really long time. So then when we started going out, like on our first date, I just was like, here it all is and put it all out there. And he was like stunned. Like he could not even like did not even know what to say. It was so awkward. It was so you know what I mean? Like I'm just like, oh, by the way, I was still on parole too though. Like I was like, it was crazy. Like
It's,
so you're
you
lucky.
don't.
At least he's in
It's
recovery.
it's it's so scary because you don't know how that person's gonna react. And
Right.
like when I told the guy that I'm talking to, when I told him, um, he was like, "Well, by the way, like, and he told me, that he was in recovery too." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God!" Like,
Thank God. That's something people never thought you'd say. Like, oh, thank God
yeah,
you're a drug addict too.
yeah, because like he can understand like
Right.
things that I've been through.
It really is hard. I will say that, like having a relationship, and like I love my husband and we have a wonderful relationship, but it is, it does cause difficulties sometimes and some things when he can't relate and things like that. It is. But yeah, and it was super scary at the first telling him like because he even said, now later on down the road, he's told me that he like hesitated, like, in our relationship, like after I told him, like in the moment, like of course he was like, oh, it's okay. And he was stunned. He was like, I can't even see that out of you. Like I can't even believe that, the person that you're describing is you. But then he even said that he, went home and was like, holy shit, like, is this even something that I want to get myself into, and he did, and thank God he did, because now, we have 3 beautiful children, and we're married, and life is great. But he did, he it was scary for me. It was scary for him. Like, it's just a whole fucking crazy mess when so, but congratulations on your new relationship. How long have you guys been dating?
We've been talking for a little over a week. So
Oh,
new.
so just brand new. Yeah, that's still that's great. Does he live close to you? Like, is it a thing like he's
Um,
close to you, or is it like a
about
virtual?
about 45 minutes. I'm
Oh,
going
so
back.
yeah,
I'm going there tonight to see him.
you're going there. When did you say?
Tonight.
Oh, tonight.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Good
Yeah.
luck. I
So.
hope it goes well for you. That's so exciting. Or you guys have like a big date plan? I'm sorry, my kids are getting antsy.
Oh no,
You
you're
have like
fine.
a big
Um,
date
we
planned, or
we've been on a couple dates. And
oh,
everything
you
is
guys
going
have
really
met?
well.
You've actually met him already.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great! That's
Yeah.
amazing. Is he good
So
looking?
I think he is.
Good. That's great. I'm so glad. And you guys are getting along. I'm glad. I didn't understand, like, when you said that you met him through, did you say through like Facebook dating? And
Yeah.
so I thought like he was like online far away. I didn't realize that you had
Mm,
like already seen him. That's awesome.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, and you told him the whole spiel about, your past, and your husband and kids and all that. So that's good. And it
Yeah.
is good just to clear the air already, just right at the first, I think, because
Yeah. I
why not?
don't. I don't. I lied. I would tell so many lies in addiction. I don't. I'm a very truthful person now. I
Yep.
don't. I don't like to lie anymore because
I
then
know,
it.
like, when I met my mother-in-law, she said, like, she was like, I love you because I just tell it all. Like, even if it makes me look bad, like, if I say, like, whatever I say about just myself, I laugh at myself. Like, if I do something stupid, or it's just like whatever, I will just say it. Like, I do struggle with boundaries. So I would just say whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's because of that. Because I was like, I don't want to lie anymore. Why lie? What do I lie about anymore? There's no reason for it. It's too hard. It's too much work. You got to keep
It's.
up with it. And
Yeah. It's too much to remember. Like I don't. I don't have the mental capacity for that anymore.
no, cried way too many brain cells. I did, for sure.
Yeah. My memory is not that these days.
I have the worst like memory, and I don't know. I love, like, when I was getting ready just now for this episode, I made a little video. I didn't even play the little video with your picture on it, but I was like making this video, and I was looking for the notes that I made to for like about, that, like, all over my desk, all over all of my you know all my stuff. I did find them, and so I had to like sit here, and I was like, think, because I've done several calls this week for people for the show, and I was like,
Yeah.
God, what? That's why I take notes, and I couldn't find it, but I did remember. I remembered at the end. I was like, we're talking about co-parenting, and I remembered what you look like, and then I went in and got your picture out and stuff. But I have the worst memory. Like, it's awful. Well, it's 7 o'clock, so we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for being here. I
Thank you so
really
much.
appreciate you sharing. I appreciate, like, I love the details. I had someone on the show the other day. I'm loving that everybody. That's my whole thing, is that I want everybody to be really raw and honest about the things that we've done and the things that have happened to us. I really appreciate you opening up and sharing so deeply. I know that sometimes that's hard, and I really do
Yeah.
appreciate that. I appreciate you being here and
Well,
supporting
thank
me.
you
And
for
you're
having.
welcome back. Huh?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You're welcome back anytime. I tell all of my guests, if you ever have anything else you want to tell your story, again, we always tell our story in different ways. That's, like I said, I was trying to do an intro video, and I ended up posting 4 of them because you know, we can always tell different things. We always say different things, think of different things. Like, I know anytime I tell my story, then like afterwards, I'm like, oh, I should have said this, or I left that out, or, you know, like whatever. So you know, feel free to come back anytime, or if you ever have another subject or topic that you want to talk about, feel free.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and end up.
Okay.
I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my been ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem damn bad. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me, might smoke bed heavy.